Grace and peace, family. Some of you already know from my Facebook page. I have several family members right now who have contracted COVID, and we're in prayer for them. And I have other family members in the church who also have loved ones who are suffering from this plague. I want to stop, though, here for a moment to speak to the believing family again. We are in a time right now where we want people to speak to us, and we want them to speak words of comfort, and we want them to speak words of hope. We don't want to feel the weight of the thing that we're going through. Some of us are running here and there, and as they did in the Old Testament, they're saying, prophesy unto us smooth things, and cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before our eyes. We don't want to hear truth about what this time may be that we're living in. And I wanted to share an instance that I had in prayer. While praying and asking Father if the Spirit and the power of His Spirit was going to ever return among His people the way it did in the first and second covenants of Scripture. And I saw before my eyes, my mind's eye, two words, Ish and Pawnee. E-S-H, Ish, and Pawnee, P-A-N-I. I heard it repeated over and over and over again into my spirit, and then I heard Hebrew. And so when I came out of prayer, I looked it up. In Hebrew, Ish is fire, and Pawnee is face or countenance. And so Ish, Pawnee, fire, countenance, fire, face of. To get clarification further, I contacted someone who teaches Hebrew, who was from Israel, on Facebook. And I was told by them that it would depend upon the context in which it was being used. But Ish is definitely fire, and Pawnee means my face. Ish, or fire, we have seen that in the demonstration of what is called a theophany. That is the burning bush. That is Father's face speaking from the bush, as it was consumed by a fire which didn't burn it. An angelic visitation. What it has to do with, family, is Him making Himself visible through a sign that human beings can understand. And so I'm here today to talk to those of us who walk with Him in covenant, to tell you this is, for us, a refining time. It's the time of a refining fire. We've walked comfortably and opened the doors to things that never belonged in the church among us as a people, as we attempted to try to just get along. Can't we all just get along? He shut the doors of our churches. And when I say He shut it, I'm not saying Father is behind the plague, but I will tell you this, and every one of us know, if He permits it, it can only happen by His hand. So He's permitting it, or He's assigning it. Ish Pawnee, the fiery countenance of our Father's face. Why? Because we are in need of the refiner's fire. We've lost contact with who the living God really is. Our houses of worship, which are supposed to be places of worship and prayer for all nations, have become like businesses. We use grace as a get-out-of-jail-free card. We know how we ought to walk, but choose not to. And so there are many things that need to be refined out of us. refined out of our houses of worship. This is a shot across the bow of the believers. And we can submit to the refining of that fire. Or we can continue to protest and be destroyed by that fire. A lot of us know this story about this woman who was talking to a refiner who had a piece of silver in the refiner's fire. And she asked, is it true that you have to hold it in the hottest part of the flame in order for it to be purified? And he said, yes. Is it true that you have to sit there and watch it? Keep your eye on it while it's in the hottest part of that flame and the impurities are being burned from it. And his response was, yes, because if it's not in there long enough, it won't burn off the impurities. And if it's in there too long, then it can be destroyed. And so she asked, well, then how do you know when it's ready to be removed from the fire? And his answer to her was, when I can see my image in it, when I can see my reflection in it. Father is changing the way we do church. Our buildings are closed. It reminds us it's a building and that we are the church of the living God. It's a shot across our bow, beloved, to remind us whose we are, how we are to walk upright before Him. And so we're being refined. In the potter's house, when he's making a piece of pottery, it remains in the kiln. The potter will tell you, how do you know, we might ask, when to take it out? They'll tell you, it begins to make a noise that sounds like it's singing. It sings in the flame. It sings in the fire. I'm saying to you, beloved, this is a time for us to spend time with our Father. As someone told me, they were awakened from sleep and told in their spirit, apologize to anybody you have offended. He's telling people, make amends, forgive, walk upright before me, trust me, believe me, love one another, but submit yourself. This is a refining fire. Malachi 3:3 says, He shall purify the sons of Levi. Shalom Aleichem. Until next time, beloved.